Welcome back to Kdramas Decoded, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode of your favorite K-drama. Episode 7 begins late at night, as Juyi's brother asks why she's leaving the house so late. Juyi explains that she's only going out for a jog because she wants to avoid running into Woo Seobin. Earlier, she had already sent him the revised version of the script, and seeing it makes Seobin genuinely happy. He quietly admits to himself that maybe he still hasn't been able to move on from her. The following morning, Seobin visits his mother and grandmother. He notices that his mother is studying for her driving test while his grandmother is learning how to write. He smiles proudly and offers to teach his mother how to drive, but she politely refuses, joking that people should never learn driving from their own family members. As Seobin is leaving, he spots his father's driver waiting outside. Curious, he asks why he's there. The driver explains that he has come to pick up Seobin's mother. Seobin secretly photographs the car and warns the driver that if he ever sees him there again, he'll report him to the police. That evening, Yugen's father visits Seobin's studio looking for Juyi. When Seobin tells him she isn't there, Yugen's father hands him a package and asks him to pass it on to Juyi before quickly leaving. When Seobin opens it, he finds clips from every drama Yugen has appeared in. Meanwhile, Juyi notices that Seobin still hasn't replied to her messages. She decides she'll make him wait a little, but when he suddenly calls her, she can't resist answering immediately. Seobin invites her to the studio to work on the script together. After hanging up, Juyi can't stop smiling, feeling relieved that they were finally able to talk to each other like normal colleagues again. Juyi arrives at the studio, but the reunion is awkward for both of them. Together, they spend over an hour watching Yugen's acting clips. Seobin casually comments that they've already been watching for an hour, while Juyi laughs, surprised at how quickly the time has passed. Seobin accidentally blurts out that time moved so slowly while he was waiting for her. Embarrassed by his own words, he immediately escapes to the kitchen. Trying to change the subject, Juyi suggests giving Yugen a small supporting role. Seobin disagrees, insisting they should hold auditions and cast people fairly. Juyi points out that Yugen would never accept special treatment or personal favors. Seobin then suggests contacting him through an agency, only to discover that Yugen doesn't even have one despite being such a talented actor. He's genuinely shocked. Juyi reminds him that he's always admired Yugen's looks. Seobin quickly denies ever being jealous of him and jokingly reminds her that she was the one who used to say Yugen had the perfect face for the camera. Laughing, Juyi replies that she never said that and points out that she actually filmed Seobin's face much more often back then because they were dating. Both of them become flustered by the memory. Juyi decides to leave, but Seobin stops her, reminding her they still need to continue revising the script. Elsewhere, Ohana's mother signs a contract with Yugen. Confused, Yugen asks why she wants to sign with him. She makes one condition perfectly clear: he must never develop romantic feelings for Ohana. Yugen insists he doesn't like her anyway, and Ohana's mother warns him to make sure that never changes. Soon after, Ohana's mother brings Yugen to meet someone. Moments later, Seobin arrives with Soyeon, and both men are surprised to see each other. Ohana's mother announces that she wants Yugen to play the lead role in the film. Seobin immediately takes Yugen outside to speak privately. He accuses him of using powerful connections and tells him that if he wanted to rely on connections, he should have done it years ago. Hurt by the accusation, Yugen responds that Seobin has no idea what he's been through and that he's always done everything he possibly could to chase his dream. Seobin admits that although he never personally liked Yugen, he always respected his passion. Sadly, he confesses that he doesn't feel that admiration anymore before walking away. Soyeon follows Seobin outside and explains the difficult situation. He reveals that both he and Ohana's mother arranged everything because without her sponsorship, the film would never happen. This is only Seobin's second movie, and he's already taking a huge risk by working with an unknown director. Sometimes compromises are necessary. Seobin becomes frustrated, asking why nobody told him sooner. Soyeon reminds him that Seobin's biggest dream has always been making this movie with Juyi, and he's only trying to protect that dream. Eventually, Siobhan returns because Ohana's mother gives him an impossible ultimatum. If Yugen isn't cast as the lead, Ju-yi will be removed from the project entirely. To protect Ju-yi, Siobhan reluctantly agrees. Meanwhile, Soyeon is filming a variety show. Sarang notices he looks unusually upset and sends him a message asking if something is wrong. After reading it, Soyeon forces himself to smile directly into the camera, making Sarang smile too. Later, Siobhan messages Yugen, asking him not to tell Ju-yi anything about what really happened. At the same time, Ohana visits Yugen unexpectedly. Instead of welcoming her, Yugen treats her coldly and tells her she shouldn't come without telling him first. She apologizes sincerely, promising it won't happen again, but Yugen says something heartbreaking. He believes they can no longer remain friends. Confused, Ohana asks what they are now if they're not friends. Yugen sadly replies that she's one of the country's biggest actresses while he's just an extra. He asks her to leave. Ohana is devastated, while Yugen is clearly hurting too, forced to push her away because of the contract he signed. The next day, Siobhan informs Ju-yi that Yugen will officially play the male lead because Miss On's company is sponsoring the film. Ju-yi is surprised but genuinely delighted, believing Yugen's agency must have arranged everything. That evening, Ju-yi goes to celebrate with Yugen, expecting him to be happy. Instead, she finds him looking miserable. When she asks what's wrong, Yugen confesses everything, including the deal with Ohana's mother and Siobhan's request to keep it secret. Ju-yi is deeply upset after hearing the truth. Around the same time, Yugen discovers that his father secretly provided Siobhan with all the acting materials and opportunities that helped him throughout his career. Although grateful, Yugen feels conflicted, especially knowing that his contract now forces him to give up Ohana. Still, Yugen calls his father to thank him after receiving the lead role. His father becomes emotional and reminds him that he earned this opportunity through years of hard work. Elsewhere, Ohana decides to leave her mother's house and move in with her assistant. Her mother is shocked and asks where she's going. Ohana calmly explains that their contract has ended and she has no intention of renewing it. Her mother can't believe what she's hearing and wonders if she's planning to quit acting altogether. Ohana says she's not leaving the industry. She simply wants to start living life on her own terms. Her mother insists she's only doing this because of Yugen, but Ohana replies that she's actually doing it because of everything her mother has put her through. In reality, Ohana also wants to join Ju-yi's film. However, she refuses to rely on her mother's influence and decides she'll earn the role herself. She later meets Ju-yi, revealing that she's a huge fan of her work. She explains that she has already read the script and desperately wants to be part of the project. Ju-yi is thrilled that such a famous actress loves her writing. Before leaving, Ohana cleverly gets Ju-yi's phone number and asks her to keep their meeting a secret. When the team later discusses casting the female lead, Ju-yi recommends Ohana. Soyeon quickly rejects the suggestion, believing she's already committed to another project. So Ju-yi messages Ohana, who unexpectedly arrives dressed for an audition. After performing her scene, Siobhan bluntly tells her that nothing about her acting stood out. Rather than becoming offended, Ohana gives an emotional speech explaining exactly why she deserves the role. She says she understands the female lead better than anyone because she's lived a controlled life where she was never allowed to make her own choices. Everything changed when she met someone who helped her discover her true dream. As she continues speaking, Siobhan slowly realizes she's describing her own life. Ohana reveals that she's already left her agency and pleads with everyone to help her live as Ohana, not simply as Miss On's daughter. Moved by her honesty, Siobhan finally gives her the role. Later, Ohana discovers that Yugen signed the contract with her mother. Heartbroken, she asks how he could do something like that. Yugen quietly explains that he simply wants to achieve his dream, and the agreement came with one painful condition: they must never contact each other again. Unable to hold back anymore, Ohana asks if he ever truly loved her. After a long silence, Yugen says no. The answer completely shatters her. As Yugen throws away some of their belongings, including an old photograph of them together, Ohana bitterly tells him that she was wrong about him before walking away. Later, Yugen's father invites him home before asking him to deliver something to Siobhan's studio. When Yugen arrives, he's surprised to find Siobhan already waiting for him. The next day, Yugen attends the official script reading. His biggest surprise comes when he discovers that Ohana has been cast as the female lead. Throughout the reading, both of them behave incredibly awkwardly around each other. Watching the uncomfortable atmosphere, Siobhan jokes that if they can no longer be friends, maybe they should just try becoming lovers instead. Looking directly at Yugen, Ohana asks whether he could ever love her. Yugen replies that if that's what the director wants for the movie, then he'll do whatever is necessary. That evening, Juyi and Siobhan share drinks together. Juyi admits she's never seen Yugen behave this way before. Siobhan reassures her that if Yugen and Ohana truly still love each other, they won't be able to hide their feelings for long. And if those emotions are genuine, they'll only make the film even better. Juyi agrees before casually mentioning that she used to write romance scenes much better whenever she was dating her boyfriend. Siobhan is caught completely off guard. Juyi laughs, saying everyone dates in college. Siobhan quietly admits that he never dated anyone. Surprised by his reaction, Juyi tells him that's perfectly normal. Siobhan then moves closer and asks about the feelings they shared back in high school. After a long pause, Juyi softly admits that she thinks she loved him back then, and that she still does now. The confession leaves Siobhan speechless. Juyi continues, saying she knows Siobhan only cast Yugen because he wanted to protect her. Before he can explain himself, she gently stops him. She tells him she could never blame him because his feelings have always been obvious to her, and he doesn't need to keep hiding them anymore. Unable to hold himself back any longer, Siobhan finally kisses Juyi. The next day, before filming officially begins, Juyi and Siobhan arrive on set to inspect everything. Siobhan asks the nervous Juyi to sit in the electric chair that will be used during filming. Seeing how anxious she is, he reminds her that the entire crew is waiting for her signal. Gathering all of her courage, Juyi finally calls out, "Action!" Watching her confidently take charge of the set, Siobhan smiles proudly. And with filming finally underway, and their relationship taking a huge step forward, Episode 7 comes to an emotional end.